SMT Nation, we back. Nation, I have good news and bad news to report here on this video. Part of this video is going to be just me reporting on the fact, and then part of the video, and we'll just call it the back half of the video, is going to be commentary from the SMT that are just my views, my personal opinion on how I see things developing in the future. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. I'll be reporting on fact, and I will be providing opinionated commentary afterwards. So T-Mobile just got really good news from the FCC. Well, good and bad news, but I'm going to discuss that here in today's video, and then I'll offer some trajectory commentary right after that. Okay, so the link for the article will be in the description for you guys to follow along, and ways to support us in the description as well, and like and share this video. All right, guys, the FCC has agreed to give T-Mobile most or all of the Spectrum Auction 108 winnings from the most recent Spectrum auction for the rest of the 2.5 gigahertz that really T-Mobile should have. They have followed all the rules and guidelines that the FCC has permitted. They've held up their end of the bargain in all the ways that I could tell, and they have a right to it. So the FCC is going to assign it to T-Mobile, and that's great because a lot of folks are going to get improved networking experiences on mobility wireless services, and then also fixed wireless access. A lot of capacity can be put on air now for T-Mobile, and their customers can benefit from it. So we're super excited about that. Now, the way that this happened is AT&T was the catalyst for this. They were the ones holding up Spectrum Auction 108 assignment for T-Mobile because they were saying that T-Mobile had an advantage, a competitive advantage over the industry, over Verizon, over AT&T specifically the location Hawaii. And that is a huge problem. The fact that both Verizon and AT&T could not secure any type of mid-band frequencies, spectrum licenses in Hawaii, a destination where a lot of people vacation, and those carriers need spectrum support. So AT&T raised concerns. They bellyached until the FCC acted. I have stated in a previous video, AT&T is right. There is a competitive disadvantage. Whose fault is it? Not T-Mobile's. It's not even AT&T's fault. It's not Verizon's fault. It is the fault of the FCC. Maybe if the FCC actually reviewed every important element within these mergers and acquisitions, maybe this could have been prevented. But they didn't act, they didn't investigate, and they didn't regulate properly. And that's why we're in this position. Now you have carriers who are starting to strong arm and bully the FCC to do the things that they should have been doing already. Anyways, before I go off on too much of a tangent, that's the update, right? That's the news. T-Mobile will be giving AT&T and or Verizon a little bit of spectrum to kind of level the playing field in Hawaii. And that should really help support the networks to be more competitive, have more capacity for all carriers to be able to, provide good networking experience for all their customers in the great islands of Hawaii. Okay. Now, here is the speculative portion of this video in the commentary. I have concerns moving forward that AT&T specifically, because of their spectrum position, because of their disadvantage that they have put themselves in following all of those media assets stuff that they did with DirecTV and Warner Media, and the heavy debt that they put on themselves, their loss of focus on wireless, their loss of focus on wireline, they're all in catch-up mode. They're behind both Verizon and T-Mobile in their 5G network build. And then they're still trying to, compete with fiber and build and all those things. My concern is very simple. My proposal, very simple. AT&T, for the foreseeable future, is going to see the success they had with this move with the FCC and the T-Mobile Spectrum auction, and they're going to start doing this shit more. My concern is that they are going to play disruptor in an anti-disruptive way, meaning not in the sense of competition in the marketplace, but in litigation and politicking the FCC, excuse me. That is my concern. They are going to start trying to play bully ball with the FCC and get them to do what they need them to do in order to hinder the progress of their competitors and to provide a crutch to AT&T because of their position, which is bullshit. I really think this is going to happen, guys. They found success against T-Mobile. They got them to give up some of their spectrum. Why the hell wouldn't AT&T then try to do this with Verizon in the areas where Verizon has 200 megahertz of C-band? Tell me why. Tell me why that would be so far-fetched. They could literally say, oh, we're in a disadvantage. Look, Verizon has all this C-band. T-Mobile has all this N41. We can't compete. We don't have enough spectrum, blah, blah, blah. Basically, selling wolf tickets to the FCC just like they did against T-Mobile. Is that so impossible from them trying to do it? I'm not saying that they're going to win. I'm not saying that they're going to be able to take or be assigned spectrum from Verizon and C-band. I'm just saying there is now a precedent where carriers can politic their way into the ears of these FCC chairs, right? Literally taking shots at Jessica Rosenworcel and those idiots at the FCC. Start regulating your mergers and acquisitions. Start regulating and actually exercising your spectrum screens. The carriers who are at spectrum advantages have done nothing wrong. They got away with what you let them get away with. Start regulating. I'm not even going to blame AT&T. I'm going to blame the FCC. They deserve the blame. They suck at what they do. They're ineffective, incompetent, and this is bad. If this ends up happening, and we could see more of this, if you thought the industry was starting to be really mucky, muddy, full of tomfoolery, chicanery, and fuckery, raccoonery, buffoonery, there's precedence now. This could get really bad really fast. And AT&T is probably going to continue to try to leverage these types of techniques and strategies to get their way. I mean, why the hell not? What's the worst thing that could happen? The FCC says no? They're going to try. I guarantee you the AT&T legal team is hyper active in these issues currently and moving forward, trying any way to get a competitive advantage over their competitors who actually followed the rules and guidelines and only did what they were allowed to do. The fault is on the FCC, even if AT&T gets away with it or they don't. This is all on the FCC. The FCC literally sucks at everything they do. They do nothing right. They are the worst. Almost as bad as the FAA and the Department of Transportation. This is trash. American politics, absolutely trash. It's hurting the American consumer. It's hurting the American business. And it's hurting the competitive landscape. AT&T would be cheating if they continue to do this, and the FCC would be enabling them to cheat. So the front half was fact, the back half was speculation and conjecture and commentary on my opinion of how I think things could play out if AT&T gets their way. What do you guys think? Is it possible? Is it probable? Is it likely? Your thoughts and opinions welcome down below. Well, the voice of the people, the SMT Nation, let your voice be heard.